Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lola Adeniran. So today we'll be talking about the STAR approach, the STAR interview technique. So STAR stands for S-T-A-R. S stands for situation, T stands for task, A stands for action, and R stands for result. So there are different types of interviews. Sometimes you can have the panel interviews where you have different people sitting across the table asking you questions, and there can also be structured interview where the same set of questions are being asked everyone that comes for the interview, and you can have an unstructured interview where the panel or the interviewers will just throw questions at you to see if you can answer them, or they can ask you questions based on what you said. And there are other types like case interviews or stress interviews, like when you go to assessment centers. So different types of interviews, different questions may require that you're well prepared for the interview. So one of the best and most common interview technique tools that I have found is the STAR approach. So how do I use the STAR approach? So when you're preparing for interviews, sometimes interviews can be prescriptive, it can be descriptive. Whichever form it takes, it's always good to prepare with STAR approach. So while you're doing your preparation, you can master the STAR approach. So how do I know what type of questions they're going to ask me? Sometimes you may not know 100%, but sometimes with research, you may be able to find out the type of questions that the company usually asks. So if you haven't watched my video on how to prepare for an interview, please do watch, because it will help you to prepare well for the interview. So the interview letter or email you receive may give you a little bit of information about what type of interview questions you're going to be asked. You can also research online, go to Glassdoor or type on Google interview questions and put the name of the company. You may be able to find some reviews and guide that could help you to know what type of questions they're going to be asking you. So the STAR approach is a structured way of responding to questions, especially behavioral interview questions. So questions like, tell me a time that you've done this. So tell me a time that you have done something, or give me an example of a time that you have demonstrated competence or confidence. So all the tell me about or give me an example questions, it is always good to use the STAR approach to be able to have a structured view or structured way of answering the questions. So what does S stands for? S stands for situation. So situation to me is more like the why, if you're looking at it from the WH question approach. The why have you been asked to perform that task or set of activities? Why have you been asked to do the project? For example, situation could be that during COVID or during lockdown, a lot of employees are now working from home, so there's a need for you to implement a new solution, there's a need for you to find a new way of working, there's a need for you to adapt to the change, there's a need for you to introduce new technology, introduce new ways of working. So your situation could be that because of lockdown or COVID, something has changed about your company. So that's the situation. So situation is more like, tell us why you've been asked to complete a set of tasks or to complete the projects. So know that situation is very specific. It's not like a generalized view of something that has happened to you. No, it's specific. It's the why. Why have you been asked to do it? And situation can be from maybe your previous job, something you've done before, maybe a volunteer experience, or something that is just relatable to maybe the economy or an event that is just relatable. So don't forget, situation is specific. T stands for task. I see this as the what. So what have you been asked to do? So my task was to find out how many resources we're going to need to complete the project is the thing or set of activities that you've been asked to complete or that you've completed. So task is more like the what. What have you been asked to do? So A stands for action. Describe what you did. How did you go about the situation? How were you able to complete the task? Don't forget, it's about you, not about the team, not about what others did, but what you did. So you always remember to use the word I. I did this. I called for meeting. I went to this. So always remember to use the word I. It's not about what other people have done. It could be that you were not the only one that accomplished that task or that was on that project, but it's not about them. While you're in that interview room, it's not about anyone. It's about you. It's about what I did. I. Remember to always use the word I. So it's about I, what I did. What steps did you take to accomplish the task? What was your particular contribution to the success of that project? What did you do? Not what we did, not what the team did. It's about you. So remember to use the word I always when you're talking about the actions that you did. So R stands for results. So tell them about the outcome of the project or the situation. For example, it could be that because of the things you did, because of the task and the things, your contribution, you were able to increase company's revenue, you were able to make more customers, you were able to meet your targets. Highlight your key strength, your key skills, the values you demonstrated, and all the accomplishments and good things you did that enabled the project to become a success. This is not a time to be shy or to be inappropriately humble. This is the time for you to speak up about your achievements, about the good, positive things you did that made the project to be a success. Don't forget, it is I did this, I did that, not we did this, we did that. And a lot of people don't get the job because they kept referring to other people, what other people did, and not what they did. So focus on what you did. You can see that this type of technique will require a lot of preparation, will require you to have like 4, 5, 6 examples before your interview that you've already prepared for. You can pick from those examples and use the STAR approach to answer them. Another similar technique is called SAR, and it's very similar to this. It's just situation, action, and results. So going back to the example that I used about COVID. During COVID, we did a review, our customer base has increased, and there's a need for us to implement a new technology. So my task was to go away and come up with different solutions on how we can improve this. So while you're talking about the situation, you've also talked about the task. So S stands for situation, and then you talk about the action, and then you talk about the results. So some people call it SAR, and some people call it STAR. So whether STAR or SAR, just make sure you master the approach. So the most important thing is that you prepare yourself for the interview before the actual interview. Because if you want to be thinking about scenarios during your interview, you may not remember because you're under pressure and you may look unprepared to your interviewers. So make sure you've prepared. And if you haven't watched my video on how to prepare for interview or how to prepare for the pre-interview day, I'll put the link up there. So please watch them. Which interview techniques do you prefer or you've used before and you think will be useful for people to know? Please put it in the comments and help someone to succeed. Thank you for subscribing and watching my videos, and I'll see you in my next video.